Start recording if that's fine with everybody. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream with live people. So I will be talking away to myself and others. And also there may be a dog alert. Oh yes, he is. My little boy is down the side of me and he's a terror for barking. So if I shout dog, please stand away from your earphones because there would be a loud bark following. So that's the government warning for the day. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. Today I'm going to do some colour wheel. And I've been playing about with the 3 inks. Sorry, we shut the door and that's what happens. So we have a very, very, very vibrant yellow. We have a very, very vibrant pale blue, a cool blue, cyan, and a very, very pinky red, magenta. And I got the idea from a year ago, or maybe more. We bought an Epsom Eco Tank, an Epsom Eco Tank. We bought the L355. And you have to be really careful because you have your printer and then just on the end there's like a little box like that. It's probably twice as high as that. And it has 4 tanks. It has one for the magenta, one for the cyan, and I'll show you the bottles. And it takes the whole of, you get little rubber gloves. And I would say that if you are going to play with these, you want some pipettes. I'm really sorry about this. It seems to be, it seems to be, my daughter's asking me if I wanted to see chat for the laptops, but you get some plastic gloves. So that's a real good idea. I would say these are like beetroot. When you use beetroot, your hands will be stained for days. So it's a good idea to do that. And I've found some pipettes, which I thought that would be quite good because you do get, in the pack, you get a cleaner. And this is very dangerous stuff. Really dangerous. So what you want, really, and you get a fat syringe. It's not sharp. It's got a little hole in it. If you can see the little hole there. I think it's the size. I think it's the size of the. You have a pin, and you put a bead at the end. So let's see how. Yes, that's wiggling around. So it's bigger than that one. So this is the glue that you can find, the fine tip glue, and it's twice the size of that. But oh dear, I do apologise about my dog. They've locked him in the room, and you get with a syringe, so you can. I was pulling them out and popping it back in, so I don't need to use that now. It's not sharp at all, but if you fell on it, it would hurt you. So I'll pop that in there, and I do apologise. It's feeding time at the zoo. So this is what you get. This is the size. They are 70 ml, I think. But the beauty of it is that you have two. You get 4 of these. You get the blue, and you get a black as well. So you get the black, magenta, cyan, and yellow. And these last you, it says, for 2 years. So you get 2 years worth of ink. So that gave me an idea that, well, if that printer can make all these colours, this is an old laptop. It's not very straight. This is an old laptop. I've just bought this gentleman's book, actually, colouring book. I forgot his name. It was a laptop cover when we had to have massive laptops. Colin Thompson's colouring book, and it has the books, and it has some. It's a grayscale one, but it has some amazing things. I did a flip through last week, I think, about it, but the first page are the books. And I thought, well, if that printer can make all those colours from those 3, then I'm going to have a go. And that's what I came up with. You have to forgive me, but I'm a little bit skew with, so my chair is squeaking because I take all my drawers out at the side of me so I can have things propped up. So that's my colour wheel that I made from these 3 colours. And they were £3.50 from Wilko's. So I thought that was quite cheap and cheerful to play with. So I've got my 3 pipettes. And I think these are the old brushes that I was using. Although I think that one's a sable, so maybe I shouldn't play with that one. But I think these are just cheapies. So we've got 3 cheapies. Don't do colour mixing with your expensive ones for 2 reasons. One is that it's expensive when you ruin them, and you don't really need them for those. You really don't need them. As long as you wash your brush out. I think I used 3 last time, so I may do that again. We'll just have to see. But I've got 4 water pots because this stuff is very vibrant. Very, very vibrant. So what I did last week is I managed to get out to WH Smith's, and they have a bit of a sale on. So for £2.99 I bought a couple of these sketchbooks, and I thought it's not waterproof, but it will take a small amount. It's quite good quality, and this will be perfect for the little book, for my little book with all my colours. So I would cut this up to little squares or big squares depending on how big your book is, and then you scribble in pencil some little squares of colour, and then you wet the end one. I can do this one again and show you because it's come out. I wouldn't use that one though. I would use probably this one. It's not very big, but it's not small. So that's got water in there, but not much. And you wet that, and then what you do is you touch it, and if you keep going, it should get paler. So the first, I'll just take off autofocus. Just maybe 2 seconds. And if I hold that up there, that's the darkest, and then the waters come out of the brush and let it be paler and paler. So I have a bit of a colour scale there. So that's why I don't normally need a colour wheel, because, or a practice, because I know that's that colour, that's the darkest, and that's the palest. And I have a rough idea of all those lovely shades of pale vermilion that's there. I think all the other ones are quite nice. I did them about 3 years ago, and they're still okay. So you get the darkest yellow, the true colour, and then it pales out by adding water. So this kind of sketching paper, not the cheapy children's, but this one, which is 135, would be perfect for this. This isn't much more. I think this one's 100. I think this one is 109, 160, and this one's 135. So you don't need to be expensive. These are normally about £1, couple of pounds. I was playing about with the colour. These are these inks, so I managed to get quite a lot of colours. It's upside down. This is what we did last week, mixing the greens just with 2 yellows and 2 blues, and we had all those greens. So I made a variation of that, and I thought what we would do is I'd make the colour wheel, and last week I had the colours all made. So we'll make the colours and we'll name them again. And I can sit these, oops, see I spilt it then. You see, if it would be, the top would have been off that would have been everywhere. Because my hands don't work particularly well. So I've got a pot for each one and a pipette for each one. And then we'll make the colours in here as we go along. So I thought we'd do it in a colour wheel. So is everybody okay with that? Oh, hi Dorothy. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Hope I haven't missed anybody. This is going to be all about colouring with printer inks. I have 3 coloured printer inks. And I thought to start with I would put them in the little dishes because I thought that would stain quite badly, but it hasn't. So these printer inks, you have to be a little bit careful with them, and please be careful you've got toddlers. Although I think teenagers can spill things as well. I'm leaving that there, hopefully that it will keep the colours right. So bear with me 2 seconds. What I've done is I've made, I don't know if you can see that, so I shall zoom in and show you them. Now do tell me if you can see all of that. And then if I put that there, take off that. I'm still learning with my new printer. My new camera. So I found that these little jam jars, these dessert jars are quite nice because they have a little dip in. And that means that I can have a real good mix. And it's not going to spill everywhere. So that's quite a good idea for mixing. And the other thing I thought we would do, so what I've written out this. So can everybody see that? Is that in focus for everybody? And can you see the light colour? I could draw it out in pen. Let me see if that works. Right, so I shall go through this. So we have a colour wheel. So we have the 2 reds at the top, which is a red purple and a red orange. So a red purple is a pinky red. Now I would have thought that's too pinky. I would have thought you wanted something like, if we go traditional watercolours, the red purple would be like the Elysian crimson, which is almost a magenta, but it's just not quite. It's got a little bit reddy. It's not quite as pink as that. And also we have a cadmium red, which is a warm red. So we've got the cadmium red, which is the cool red, sorry, and we have the Elysian crimson, which is the reddy red. And then as we go, can everybody see that? So then we have the yellows. So we want a yellow orange because we want some nice oranges and some nice browns. So we want a cadmium is always a yellow ochre is always very good. But I also like the cadmium yellow. That's a warm yellow. And the bright yellow is the lemon yellow here. And that's a cool yellow. So that's nice for greens. So your cool yellow needs to be the furthest away. So that's yellow green. That wants to be nearest your green. And the yellow orange, the warm yellow, wants to be nearest your orange colour, your red. And so then we get to blues. And again, what we want is we want a nice warm blue, which is a purpley blue, which is ultramarine. I find that one the best one. The cobalt is quite warm, but it's still too cool to get some really nice purples. If you want some very, very vibrant, bright purples, you want ultramarine. But you can make it, which I'll show you later. And the next one you want is a cool blue, which is a cerulean blue. Now you cannot make that blue. That blue is the same as the printer blue. You cannot make a cool blue, you cannot make a cool yellow, and you cannot make a cool red. But you can make the other colours, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we have a blue purple, which is ultramarine, and a blue green, a cool blue, which is cerulean blue. So we have our 3 colours, and they are primary colours. So we want 6 primary colours. And from those 6, we can make anything. We can make every colour. So if we have a cool yellow and a cool blue, we get a very vibrant green. A really, really vibrant green. And if we mix a red orange with a yellow orange, we get a very bright orange. If we have a red purple, so purpley red, and a blue purple, a purpley blue, if we mix them together, we get a vibrant purple. So that gives us the 3 secondary colours. Now, in between those are called tertiaries. And I wouldn't normally bother, but I thought just for interest, you can then start playing with different colours. Because you might not think I want a dead boring orange. That's a bright orange. I want a reddy orange. So we call it an orange red. So if we have an orange and put a touch more red to it, it becomes an orange red. If we have an orange and put a touch of yellow to it, it becomes an orange yellow. So we have 3 shades of orange and we have 2 shades of red on our colour wheel. Does that make sense? So we can say, well, we can have a green with more blue in it, a green blue, and we can have a green yellow, which is a vibrant green, but it's more yellowy. So that would be something like a grass green. The sherbet lemon would be the green blue. Sorry, the green yellow, because if you have a bright green, you can put some yellow to it and you can have a sherbet lemon, a lighter colour. But so you've got 2 yellows. If you put a little bit more blue to it, you will end up with a fern colour, or these colours. These are darker greens. They're not the vibrant apple green. There's a hooker's green. That's probably a middle green. Hooker's green there. That's a very popular one. And these are the Inktense pencils. If you want to look at them for... Well, I'll come to that later because I was going to go through that. So the next thing is we want some purples. So you might not want a bright purple. You might want a reddy purple, which is a purple red. And if you want a bluey purple, a bit darker blue purple, you have a purple blue. And that gives you 6 tertiary colours. So there's quite a few colours there, easy to mix and simple to get. We'll move Sooty out of the way a moment. So that's what I thought would be quite good. And then, of course, when you have all these colours, you have a purple, so you can then add yellow to it. And you will have a grayscale. So the more yellow you add to purple, the darker and greyer it gets. The more purple you add to yellow, the greyer it gets, until in the middle is black. The same with the red. Instead of adding black to make it a dark red, you add its complementary colour, the green. And that will give you some nice colours back to dark grey and black. And in fact, we did that. That's what this one is. So we started with a bright yellow. We added purple. So that's purple. That's the same yellow with a dot of yellow, purple in it. More purple, more purple, more purple, more purple to purple. Same with the orange. Orange is a cross. You add blue. So you have some gorgeous orangey scales and then it goes blue to greens. So you've got so many greens there, and they're made with orange. You have so many greens there, and they're made with yellow. So that kind of, you can get some really good colours from there. So that gave me the idea of colouring this in first, and then taking the primary reds. So we have a red purple, a warm pinky red, and we have a red orange, which is a cold orangey red. And if we add green to an orangey red, and then add it again and again and more and more and more and more, you're going to have 7 shades of green. Sorry, of red. If you carried on, it would go to green. The same with the red. So then I thought, well, we can do it with the yellows. So if we had yellows, we would add purple to that. And I'm sorry about the skew with colour wheel. Then we have the primary blues. So again, I've got blue-green with orange. The secondary colour was the purple. So we have 2 purples. We have a reddy warm purple, and we have a blue cool purple, and then the same thing with cad yellow. And then I did the same thing with lemon yellow. So those colours are going to be different. And then I thought about the orange with ultramarine blue, and then orange with cerulean blue. And then we have green with alizarin red, the bright pinky red. And we have green with cadmium red. And then I decided to have a go with 3 colours. So I started with, I apologise, I started with 6 Derwent watercolours. I had Madder Carmine, which is a warm reddy red, pinky red. I had a deep vermilion, which is an orange red. Deep cadmium is a warm yellow, and lemon cadmium is a cool yellow. The blue-green was the spectrum blue, and the deep ultramarine was the warm. And then from those colours, I very carefully penciled them in the colours that I needed. So for the red-orange, I had the red and slightly went over the yellow. And for the orange-yellow, I had the yellow and just put a tiny little bit of orange, because we wanted more yellow in that one. And that one's 50-50, half and half. So the centre primary colours are half and half. And then I took a little bit more of the red for that one, and blue for that one, and blue for that one, and yellow for that one. So that gave me another 6 shades. And I thought I would do that with Inktense. I would do that with the Kiritake Gansai Tambi watercolour. I would do that with the Peerless watercolours, the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s, the Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus watercolours, the Winsor Newton gouache, and then I came to a standstill, and I thought, well, actually that's going to give me quite a lot. And they're all grayscales. They're all going to be adding the complementary colour, which is the grayscale of a red, to make darker, deeper reds. It's instead of adding black or grey. So if we fill this one in first, but because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this paper, I photocopied everything. So I've actually got them photocopied. So the first one we want I'm a terror for photocopying. Now I don't have to pay much for my inks. I photocopy everything. But it's a good idea because you can have a good play. And that's the colour wheel. And what I put on there was cool colours and warm colours. So is everybody okay with that? So what I thought I would do is we can colour that one in. I've just had my my baby wipes sitting on there and it's made it wet, but it won't matter because we're not going to do anything with that. So I shall mix the colours on here. And I'm going to put them onto photocopy paper. And this is photocopy paper. So in theory we should have all these colours in these circles. So I have the two greens, the two yellow, the two outside yellows, the tertiary, the two purples, and those extra colours. So I'll pop that away. I could actually just fold that round and then we don't have to mess about too much. So if I put that about here, as we fill them in, is that about right? So as we fill them in, and I can put that there as well. Get rid of my little book. I shall just zoom out now and what if we have to see what colours I'm using and how I mix them, because I think that's important. So we have the two mixing areas. I've got 2 pots, well I've got 4 things of water. I think that's important, that's a good, oops. And I want that one for mixing. Well, that just said day 1, so I'll probably use that one because it's a good size and it's going to give a good coating. So if I just put that there. They were in focus. So my little chart here is oh, you're also given a tiny little screwdriver that you screw a hole in. I think it's so that you don't make a mess, I presume, I don't know, but you get a tiny little screwdriver. And in theory, I've just realised that won't work then, will it? I shall have to make it work. Yes, I'm going to end up with. So, yes, put it all over my fingers. So, if you're using, whatever you're using, you need to screw the hole that it will work. So, put that back over there. So, on my colour, my oops, let me get rid of that. Right. So they've had colouring, but they've washed out quite well. I thought that would stain. So I had an orange there. So I had, let's see if I can So we need a cool yellow there. Oh, was there yellow and two? Yellow and two. So if I put purple here, let's see if it works. No, it doesn't work. How amazing is that? I also bought these, but I won't be able to use them because I can't really. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I bought some. These were on special offer at WH Smith's as well. They were £6.49, so I thought, well, I'll pick them up and have a play because there's supposed to be a brush at one end and a tip at the other. So let's see if this will work. Which is why I don't have pens. That's better. No. Oh yes, designed very well. The top goes in there. So we have a purple. So we'll have a purple. So we'll have a blue purple. I'll just wipe that off because it's too confusing if I do that. So I have a blue purple and I have a purple, and so I will have a red purple and a red orange. I should make those bigger. Can we see that? I'm going to see if I can make them bigger. So we want a purple, and we want a blue purple. So that would be the ultramarine. And we want a red purple. So this will be magenta today. And we will have, shall we do it like that? No, we'll do it. I always make a mess when I do it this way though, but never mind. We'll do it as, we'll do this as a yellow. So we'll put yellow there. So we want a yellow there and a yellow there. And we want green there. We want a cool blue there, so we want a blue green there. And we want a red purple. So all we have at the moment is we have a red purple magenta, a blue green cyan, and a yellow. We have a yellow green. That's what we have. So what we want is the other primary colours to give us some better colours, because we could not make orange at the moment. So I'll put these out first. If I do it this way, it will make more sense. So we'll have some pink. Whoops, far too much pink. So that is a very, very red purple. And this is a very, very cool blue. And I'm just covering the bottom because there's an awful lot in there. And this is the very vibrant, although it looks orange, it isn't. That's the pale green. So what we need now, I should have put it there. Oh no, I shouldn't. Yes, I should have put it, but never mind. So what we need now is we need a red orange. So we need to have a little bit of this. So we have a red, but it's far too red. So what we want to do is to add a touch of yellow to this. What I'll do first is I'll just make sure that we can see this. And we will have, so we have the red pink we have at the moment, which is very pink. And then we have the yellow green, which is very vibrant yellow, very pale yellow. And we have a very vibrant blue-green. Now normally that would break my heart washing all that colour out, but it doesn't, because so that's given me some quite bright colours. So what I need now, I want a red orange. So let's see if we have enough. And that's why we've got this to test. Oh, now that's just a touch. You wouldn't think normally with watercolours, but that's made an orangey red. So that's going to make some really nice oranges, whereas that one would have taken a long time to get a nice orange. So the next one we want is blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that blue, I'm going to put it here. So now we've got the same blue in there. And what we want to do is we want to make it a little bit warmer. So we don't put a touch of that into it because we'll get purple. So we'll put a touch of this into it and see if that turns it down. And we'll just test it. And it's still a little bit cold. Smidgen more red. We'll put a touch of this red into it. But all three colours, I would think that was quite, I always think that would be quite warm. Just a touch. Because you find these are so vibrant. Yes, that's an ultramarine. This is why it's a little bit tricky getting these colours. Which is why it's easier just to buy 6. So that's given us a blue purple, and this one was a red orange. So that's, I might have gone a bit too further, that might be a bit too purpley, but never mind, we'll carry on. So now we want an orange. So we want some of our original red into here. And we want a touch of yellow. And test it. it's ready. It's another red. So what we go is drop more yellow. Touch more yellow into there. I would say that's still just a smidgen. Let's see what we have here. Yes, I would say that's a bright orange. So now we have a nice orange to put in there. Hi Artsy Girl, welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm still doing the colour wheel using my 3 printers inks. I could sit there if you can see them. So we now have, you just got to be a little bit careful with this stuff because it's, as I say, I would think it's rather like beetroot. It's not forgiving. So now we have orange. So we have an orange, we have a red orange, we have a red purple, we have a blue purple, and we have a blue green. And we have a yellow green. So now we want a warm yellow. So I suppose I could put this that way, that would make more sense. So we want to put a touch more yellow into that one. So that's our bright one. So what we want is we want a drop of that. And then to make that warmer, I'm going to try show your brushes clean because this stuff is really, really vibrant. A touch of orange into here. And that's instantly warmed that yellow. So now you can get some lovely orange shades and muted greens, and that one is for your vibrant greens. So we can mark off now. I just seem to be a bit of a messy girl today. We can mark off today. This is now a yellow orange. So from just these 3, we are getting there. So now we want a green. So we want our original yellow into here. And I'm just using enough to touch. I might just put a touch more in there actually, because we may as well have enough. There we go. So now we have that. And we want to make a bright green, so we want the blue green, we want the cool blue, which is the one we started with. So we just want to touch in there. And instantly, that's too pale. Now I'm going to put that one into the yellow green, since we've got it, because that is definitely a tertiary colour. It's not. It's a yellow green. It's definitely not a green. So I need a touch more of the original blue in there. And if you did this and then looked through something like my little book with my ink 10s, you will probably find how to make every single colour in here. All the tones of green, they're all made, and so at the moment I've almost made this one. It's a very pale olive, but we want a sap green. We want a nice, rich, bright green. So we want to drop more of the cold blue. And now we have a lovely green. So I'm quite happy with that green. I'm going to put that green here and call that my lovely bright green. So we've done that. So we have now got a lovely green. So what do we need next? Next we would like a purple. So for a purple we need the pinky red, the red purple. So we make sure our brush is very clean. I seem to be going through kitchen roll like nobody's business. Make sure it's clean, because these do make a difference. So we want some red purple, and there's quite a lot in there, so I'm going to put that in there. So this is the warm red purple. Probably put too much. There we are. So because I paid £3.50, I can wash that colour away. But if I use that for anything else, I mean, that's because there was blue in there. Look at that gorgeous purple colour. And I've washed my red brush out in there and the blue. So we'll make sure that's clean. And then we want a touch of the blue purple. Now we couldn't have made that before we made that. We had to make that first because that is too cold. So we had to make it warm with the orange first. Now we can put a touch of the warm purple, sorry, the purpley blue with the pink. Oh, sorry, with the red, the purpley red. And I would think that's a lovely bright purple. So that purple can now go here as my bright purple. So I can now put a purple there. Now, if you were painting in oil paints, or if you're painting watercolours or acrylics, your painting palette would have all these colours laid out. So you can make all these colours in their own individual little blob. And you know that you've got your cool side ones at that side and your warm ones at that side. So we've got 3 extra colours. So we've had the warm green. So what we can do now is we can take, oh, that was very purple, that one. Are you doing that? Are you doing that with me? That's brilliant. Am I going slow enough for you? Am I going the right? Oh, you see, I did say it was terrible stuff. Am I going at the right pace? That's brilliant. So now we could do with the tertiary colours. You don't need those, but it would be such a shame not to have that green in between those two, because that's probably a grass or a bright leaf green, but that's a lovely stem colour for a poppy. So we want a darker green, a bluier green than that. So we can take some of the blue green and we can pop it in there. It should really go there, but we'll pop it here because we know what it is. And then what we could do with really is I wouldn't put yellow in it because it will go straight to yellow green. I would put, oh, I should have put green in it. Sorry, I've put too much blue. I think I've put far too much blue, so I'm going to take the blue out there. That was the blue green. I shall leave that into there. Right, so what we need is the green. We've already got the green, but we just want to make it slightly bluer by adding a touch of blue-green, which is the original cyan that we were using there. So now we want some of this into here. Actually, I think I prefer that one as the green. So I'm going to put that here because I quite like that one. because I would class that one as a green. That one's in between. So we've only been going a couple of minutes and we've already made 4 greens. So we could do with a touch more blue into there. And we'll do it in our test. Now that's a nice blue-green. Hi Marilyn. Hi everybody. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. We're colour mixing with the 3 printer inks again. And then we're going to do some grayscale. So we've now got a green blue. Green because it's the main colour is green. And then we're adding a touch of the cool blue to it to make that lovely deep green. So we've got, I quite like that, but they have the green, a pale green, and an even paler yellowy green there. Right, so if we go down to this end now, so we have an orange, but we want an orange yellow. So we have a touch in there. I'm going to probably make a drop. I'm going to put some, I don't have a lot of that red, do I? So I'm going to put some more of that into there. And that into there. Eventually it will get where it's second nature, this, I would think. So I want to get my red-orange back. That's still a little pinky. Another drop. That's a really nice red-orange now. So I'm just going to put that one there. And it's the nearest damn it, but there is I think there is a slight difference. And then I want some more yellow into that one to make that really orangey. It's still quite red, is that? So let's take that away from there. So that's my lovely orange again. And again, I'm just going to have another go there to make sure that I'm playing about with colour. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream. So I've got some pinky in there. So I now want to go a shade. Well, I can do 2 things. First of all, I can do the red-orange between. So that's going to be, and that's gone past it already. I prefer that orange to that one. So I'm going to use that as my orange now. I do like that one. I think that's probably more orange. And I'm probably going to use that one here. I think I'm going to use that one there as the red-orange. You do have to be a bit careful because, and then I'm going to use this one as the orange because I like that one. And then that one needs to be this one with some more yellow in. It's still red. So we put some more yellow into that one. It's a bit like a chemistry lesson, is it? And that's quite a nice pale orange. You wouldn't say that was a rich orange. You would say that was a nice in-between orange. So that's a lemony orange. So that's given us quite a nice cluster of oranges. Oh, thank you, Artsy Girl. That's lovely. Thank you ever so much. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I hope you're a little behind. Sorry, let me just move that across then because I can't see what you've put. If I move that a bit further up. So what I've been doing is I've taken my 3 printer inks, my magenta, cyan and lemon. Sorry, well it is a lemon, it's a vibrant yellow. So you could do that with any lemon colour. What would I say that one was? That's lemon yellow. That's cerulean blue. And that one is Elysian crimson. And they're the pinky colours. I've actually got them in all the colours as well. So, and then I've made I've made the 2 reds, I've made the 2 yellows, and I've made the 2 blues. So from the cool original cyan with a cool yellow, I've had a bright green. In fact, I made 2. I put a touch of the blue in it to take it back a bit so that it was a deeper bluey green, and a bit of lemon in it, yellow, the very vibrant yellow, to make it a very light lemon green. You would still say that was green, but it's a lemony green. And then we've made some oranges, but we're doing the tertiary colours, the in-between, which gives when you buy lots of colours, these are the individual ones that you have as well. But you can very easily make them very quickly with having the 2. So if you had a tube of the 6 tubes of watercolour paint, you could mix your 2 cool reds and yellows to get the orange, and the yellow and green to make the blue and yellow to make the green, and the warm blue and the warm red to make the purple. And then all you do is you take a touch of the red to get an in-between colour, and a touch of the blue to make an in-between colour. And if you have a full set of Derwent pencils or paints, you will see that they will all fit in colour. Especially you can see that with the pencils. The Derwent watercolour pencils start at number 1, which is a very cold yellow, and you get to the warm the deep cadmium, and then you go to the oranges, and then you go to the salmons and the reds, and then you go to the pinks and the purples, and then you can make all these blues and all these greens from these 3 or 4 colours. Did that make sense, everybody? So what we now need, we've got the purple, we now need a purpley red. So I'm running out of space, I'm going to do it here. So I have got some here. So I shall take some of the red, the original magenta, because I don't have much purple. And I'm just going to take a touch of that. And I think that's too pink. Oh, I don't know, that is a pinky purple. So that actually is perfect. That's what we want. We wanted a pinky purple, and that's what we've got. So I now need to I can actually take some of that and put that over here, and add a touch more of the warm blue. And that'll give us a darker purple. Now, that could almost be there actually, so we'll just knock that back a touch more. But you can start with 2 purples and knock one way, lots and lots of red to make lots of pinky purples, and then lots of blue to make them darker purples. So I'm going to go for that one. You see, that's another shade of purple there. I'm always a very messy person, but I think that's probably a darker purple. But I'm going to put a touch of blue there because I've run out of this one now. I think I've got enough of that, and I'm just going to put a touch of the pink. I think I might just put a touch of that in. If you go too far, you have a purple. Oh no, that's just about right. That's what I wanted. It's not too bad actually. So I've now got my warm blue back. So now I have my complete colour wheel. So that's given me quite a few colours. So what I wanted to do next, I'll rinse that out. I hope I'm still in focus. Am I still in focus? So we need to label this. So just baby wipe to just take that off there. So we'll call this the purple pink, the purple red. Yes, that one's the red purple, and this one is the purple red. So that's PR, and that's purple blue, which is there. This one was the red. That was the red orange. So the orange red, and that was the orange yellow. And we have the greeny blue, which is a darker, and a green yellow, which is on either side of the green. Is that as clear as mud? Well, I hope it's not as clear as mud. So we can put our orange yellow there, and that was our yellow orange because that was our warm yellow, and that's our yellowy orange. So the colour that it is next to the nearest of the secondary colour is what you call it, just so you can make it that little bit easier. So we have a green there, and we have a purple there, and we have an orange there. So that's given us quite a few colours just from these three. And then every shade from there, you can mix them together. You can mix other colours to make different greens. And we did that the other day. So that's that colour wheel. So the next thing on my little book, so actually what we could do, because this is a photocopy because I wanted to play. We played on here. We've got that right, and now we can put it in our book. But because it's printer ink, it will go through. So I would think you would need at least a double thing to go under there. So we can do a neater one, and then you can call these cool colours. And we can call these warm. Did that make sense? Have you managed to catch up, little P? So we've got our 6 primary, our 3 secondary, and our 6 tertiary. And I can pop those. So I'm going to use a smaller brush for 2 reasons. One is I don't actually want to run out. Can you see all the colours? Is everybody happy with that? Did everybody follow that? Right, if you want to ask me anything, pop it in caps. So we now have all these lovely yummy colours. And we we want to put them into here. So we'll start with the palest one first, I think. So we have just a touch of the yellow green. And by doing it this way, this looks quite neat in your book. You can match the yellow green with the yellow green. So you know it doesn't go in that one because that's yellow orange, which is there. So again, that's another way of doing it, just to make sure that you don't get confused, because it's quite easy to dip into a pot. And I'm not going to use that. I don't think I'll carry on with this brush, I suppose. Right. It's very important that you wash the brush out. I've got 4 different water pots. So the yellow orange, which is the warmer yellow, which is your cadmium yellow, is there. So if this was watercolour, you'd put cadmium. If that was watercolour, you'd put lemon yellow. And we have a yellow orange. Sorry, an orange yellow. So that's, and if you're not sure, just, so that's not quite a bright orange, it's a yellow orange. And I've put them in different shapes so you can see the different things that they are. So now we want an orange, which is just the straight O, which was the secondary colour. So that's a nice orange. And then we want the orange red, which is that one. No, I've got them wrong. I thought that looked a little bit darker. It's very easy to get a little bit confusing. So what we need is, they are in order, those. We have an orange, and then we have an orange red, because I changed the colour. So to double check, an orange red is an orange red. Yes, that's a darker orange, so I can put that one in there. And then we have the red orange, which is, we made that earlier. And that does look a little bit pinky until you put it next to the original magenta, which is quite pink. In fact, I would say that's too pink. I'm not happy with that. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to put a touch of red purple in it. I don't put a touch of anything else because that really will knock it into a purple. Yes, that's, oh, I think that's a perfect red orange now. So I've made a mistake because I didn't check it. So I'm going to put that here. Don't know, that looks a bit pink now. I put it in the wrong one, that's why. Never mind. Is everybody happy? Does everybody understand all that? So that does look a little bit pinky, but it doesn't matter because it does the job. It makes vibrant purples. So now we have I think this one is the dark purple. So if I've forgotten, I'll just double check. So we'll go for purple first. And that's a lovely bright purple. Get that one in there. You only have to do this once. because when you're mixing colours, you don't think about mixing it. You just know that you want it a bit more reddy or a bit more purpley. So we'll go for, and this is the darker purple. It isn't much darker, but it is a little bit darker. And this is, I would probably say that's a better pinky red, but it's definitely a pinky purple, is that? But that's what we wanted. We wanted a purple red. We wanted a pinkier purple, and that we wanted a darker bluey purple. So the BP is the blue purple. So this is the warm blue. This is the ultramarine. And that would make sure, you see, you needed the ultramarine to make the lovely pink. Sorry, the purple. So now we want the blue-green, which is the original cyan blue, or cerulean blue. Now I've tried cobalt blue and I didn't like it because it wasn't pink enough. My purples were very dull. So we now need a blue-green. And test it. Oh, I think that's too, wait a minute, no, we've got a green here, wait a minute, this is a green. And this is a dark blue-green. And then I think I forgot to do this, so we needed to have a touch of that one there and a touch more yellow. And that's made a lovely lighter. It's not as light as the other one. Perhaps I should put some more. I think I like that one. So we've actually got two light ones. That's a very lemony green. I like that one. So you get to know. That's brilliant, little P. I'm glad you've got that. Glad it's not as what do I keep saying? It's as clear as mud. So now we've got all our colours in our colour. So I always make a mess. I do like that one. I think that's nearer cadmium red. I have to alizarin crimson, which probably, if you have a magenta of any kind of pastel paint crayon, and then you look next to it, you will find nearer the orangey red, you will find alizarin, and then you find a couple of others, and then you'll come to the red. I mean, you could put 10 reds in between here, especially when you look at the pencils. So what I thought we'd do, so there are your colours. We've managed to get some nice tertiary colours. So we've got a pale green, and we've got a dark blue. Sorry, we've got a pale green and a dark green. We've got a pale purple and we've got a dark purple. We've got a pale orange and we've got a dark orange. So I thought we would miss out the middle two yellows if we were doing, this was the next thing, is primary reds. So what I intended to do was to put the red orange here. Now I think that's too pink. No, maybe not. This is my red orange. This is my cadmium red. My orangey red. And this is, I think this one's too pink, so let me just double check. I think that's a smidgen too pink. I think it's a smidgen too pink. I think I'm going to just put a touch of, if I put a touch of, I don't want to put some yellow in it because that'll take it back to that red. I just want it a titch near this red. So I will take that red purple and put a smidgen of red orange in it. And that will make it still a little bit purple. I'll do it again. A touch more red orange. What I'm looking for is an Elysian crimson. And that's a pinky red. It's still a pink, but it's a red. It's more of a red than it is a pink. So that's Elysian crimson. Oops. So bear with me 2 seconds. Let me just have a drink of water because I don't know why that keeps knocking itself there. So we've got those colours now. So what I want to do is I want to find out the grayscale. So if you were looking at your colour wheel, you're going in here now. You're going in here with this one. And you're going in there with this one. Until you get to black. Now we probably won't get to black. We'll probably get to greeny red. When something it's probably going to just turn, and instead of being a reddy green, it'll become a greeny red. So what we need to do is we have, oh, this is why I was mixing on here, wasn't it? Right, so we'll go back to mixing on here. I'll turn this round now. So it's done its job as that one. See, I've got some really nice colours here. But I don't know how to make those. But if I look on my colour wheel, I do. So I'm going to go to, I think, a thinner brush. I'll use this brush. It's not too big. That's better. Right. So I've got a green, and I want the ordinary green. So if I just slide that up there slightly, you can actually see them being mixed. Is everybody okay? So what we want now is we're going for this green, which is the green. So because we had 2 reds, I thought we would do it this way. So we want some green in this one. And we want some, so we'll do the red orange first. So we'll go to our red orange and we'll have a brush of that. So in theory, we've got about a brush of each. I'm just going to put that up there for a reason, because what's going to happen is there's an awful lot of colour on this brush, and this is the green. So I'll try and squeeze out as much as I can, and I'll go in. And there was hardly anything on the brush, and I'm just going to test it. I think that's a bit dark, so what I'm going to cheat. I'm probably going to put that one. No, I'm not. I'm going to mix another one, and I'm going to put a paintbrush of the red orange on there. And I'm going to mix with what was in that one, because it's too far gone. I'm going to take it back a step. So I think that's a quite nice one. That's the first one. So that's the first bit of green. So I've got quite a lot of that on here. So I'm going to go into that one, see if I can knock that one back a bit as well. It doesn't take very much. And I think that's quite a nice one. It's darker than the first one. I've called that RG1. So what we have is we have a red-orange, which is a cadmium red, and that's a red-green 1. And then we've put a touch more green to red-green 2. Now, I'm probably going to leave that one over there a minute. So what I'm going to do now is wash the brush out and take a drop more and do this. And then that's a red and do that. So, thank you, Sam. So it is getting slightly darker. Yes, there were, is it not Google Go or something? They're from Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and they're a very posh pudding, but they're in little glass dishes, but they're just perfect. Well, that's brilliant. Any mixing is fab. Any playing with colours is brilliant. But to do it with these cheaper bottles is fab, because £3.50 is brilliant, because my £8 some watercolours are disappearing. So that's that one. So I'm going to wash the brush out, and I'm going to take some more green and put that one in. And again, I think actually I took too much. We'll just test it. See, now it actually looks green. So I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to take some of this red and I'm going to take it back. So it wants to be darker than that one, which I think it is, just. Because bearing in mind, we want all these shades. Now, when you do them in acrylic, oil and watercolour, they do look a lot different. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I say oh, does it say it? Oh, GU pudding. They were from Tesco's. Oh, Sainsbury's. I think it was Sainsbury's. So, what have I got on this one now? And that one. That one's dark. Now that's the one that was next. So I'm going to mix that one into there. And there doesn't look to be a difference, but it is slowly going. Because what we don't want really is to get to red. So that's turning even duller, isn't it? It's getting darker. And I'm trying not to have any water in my brush. So I like that one actually. I don't know if that was a touch darker. I don't think it was. So we'll see what that one does. Oops. See what that one does. There doesn't seem to be any colour on there at all. But there is. Now, that's getting quite... It's not quite green, but... I'm going to put that there, because that's the green that I used. And now you can see that red is just nearly green. And that's the pale green I used. And I don't think I'd use that green next time, but it's going grayer. They are shades, but I mean that is definitely different from there. And that's where it came from. That pink on there is exactly the same. All I've done is add green. And that's given me some lovely shades of red. So we shall wipe those off because it's inky stinky stuff. And we will now choose the Ready Purple. So RP under here. And we want the same green. So the greeny green must have gone there. So I'm going to take a little bit of that first. And you can test it. And first, straight away, it's knocked that down. That is not the same vibrant pink. It seems to be a bit darker. So every time, that's getting away from that gorgeous, bright pink. And it isn't going darker pink, it's going darker red. I mean, you could do 10 of these instead of 7. 10's probably better. And again, from that bright pink, you've got some really nice grey shades. So did that make sense? But that is quite a bright green. So I think actually what I'm going to do, because it is a bright green, I'm going to do that again with a dark green. And then you can see the difference. So I think we said that was quite a nice, yes, that's quite a nice green. So we shall put that green here. And we'll put the red orange here. So I can't draw neat squares there. So that's the first one. And I'll do that there. That's the green we're putting in now. And straight away there's a difference. That's the different to that one. So that's that one. And I'm going to put a little bit more of that in. And I'm pretty sure that's taken it too far. Yes, it has. So we'll go back and put... So it's a completely different colour. And that's your grayscale. So if you use a dark green, you get some nice greens. Sorry, yes, greys. But the nicest thing is, if you have a ready tree or a ready flower and you want to shadow, that's the warm shadow instead of using black. Oh, bye Janice, thank you for joining us. I hope everything was okay. Hope you enjoyed the show. So if we do a darker one, so we'll do the same with the pink, but so it does depend on the colour. Maybe that green was a little bit pale. That was probably a lemony one. So we now want the red purple, and we want the dark green. Oops, that was the wrong one. Never mind. I'm just going to take that back a smidgen. I'll put that colour there, and I'll get rid of it, and I'll put a touch back in. So that's the first one. And then that one was the next one. So not even a full brush of the green. You're getting some quite nice, and you wouldn't think that that's coming from that such vivid pink. So that's another set of lovely greys, just by adding the complementary colour green. Oh, and I forgot to put the piece of paper between, and it didn't actually do anything. So that was lucky. So it's quite nice. It's quite nice to work with these. And the other thing is they do dry very quickly as well. So we now have primary yellows next. And so this is all for shading, shadowing, and it's the nice grayscale. So you can use it when you want to have some nice shadows, or if you have a pink colour to go next to it. So I had the vibrant yellow, and if I put the vibrant yellow to the vibrant red-orange, you get orange. So what you have to do is you have to make the orange first. So you have to make a secondary colour orange and put a tiny drop of orange into your yellow green, and then that will warm it up. Oh, bye Janice, thank you for joining us. Did you understand? Mixing cold yellow with a tint of, yes, with a tint of orange, because if you put a tint of red orange in, it will immediately go to bright orange. So you've passed it. So by putting red instead of red orange in, you're just taking it that next step. So you've actually got to mix a secondary colour to get a primer, which is rather silly. Now you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that with watercolours. You would only do this with these because they're very vibrant. You would only do that if it was, yes Sarah, 2 reds, 2 blues and 2 yellows. So if you wanted to mix oils or acrylics or watercolours, you can just buy the 6 colours, a warm red and a yellow red, a warm red and a cold red. So in watercolours, that would be alizarin crimson, which is a pinky red. Cadmium red is a reddy red, and cadmium, and they use cadmium a lot to name the cooler one. Lemon yellow, bright cold yellow, and a cadmium yellow, which is a warm yellow, or yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is taking that yellow further to get the yellow ochre. But normally you just get the 2, but I like cadmium yellow. A cerulean blue is like the cyan, it's the cold blue. An ultramarine is the pinky one, and that's the one the purpley blue, and that's the one I've made. So I've not done so bad in getting the blue. That's the purpley blue. And then we've got oh, that's all we need. We just need the 6. Did that make sense? But I didn't realise I could make those. So I've made that warm yellow. So that would be my cad yellow. That would be my cad yellow by adding a touch of orange. Oh, but only because these are very vibrant. In watercolours, I would say, oh, let's try it. Let's try it with watercolours and see what happens. So we have a lemon yellow. That's a cold yellow. In fact, bear with me 2 seconds. I'll do it on here. Cause so we've got that very bright yellow there. And I've only got my cadmium red because remember I've only got 6 colours. So I've got cadmium red here. So if I put cadmium red, excuse me, on there. If I take all of it out of my brush, it's slightly warmer. I'll take it out there and put it into there. I'll do it on here. So that's my cold yellow. And if I put my cadmium red there, just that mix. I have an orange now. So if I put a touch of that over here, it's getting warmer and warmer. So you've got to be really careful, but you can just, that's now a warm cadmium yellow. And if I put my brush into cadmium yellow, there's not much difference. So you can do it, but you've got to almost take it to an orange first. I would always suggest taking that orange. So that was the original yellow, lemon yellow. That was I made an orange with the cadmium red, which is the cool red, and the cold yellow, and then I mixed them together. So that one's mine, and that's cadmium yellow off the pot. So it's not too far out actually. If you mix a cold yellow with a cold red, you'll get orange first. If you want a warm red, you need to take it back by adding the orange to the red. You have to do it backwards way. You do with these because they're so vibrant that the minute you put a touch of red into the yellow, it doesn't matter how much you put into it, you'll get orange. That's why they're not brilliant for doing this with, but they do give you a good, you can play about with them. So let's put some yellow on here. And we'll put, so even if I put the tidgiest amount in there, it's gone too far. That's almost an orange. So what I have to do, oh sorry, I was doing it the other way around, wasn't I? Duh, I was making a warm red. Idiot moment, had an idiot moment. So that's the pink at the moment. So if I put a touch of the yellow green, which is that one, into here. Oh, it's worked this time. I must have guessed it right. So that's a cad. That it does work, but you've got to put just a tad, just a teeniest amount. So what I'll do with that, because we've finished that one. So before we start this one, what I'll do is I'll stop the recording and I'll start it again if that's okay. So is everybody happy with that? Can you not get printer ink? But I wonder if you could get. So you have to buy cartridges for your inks. If you wanted to really be brave, you could buy just if your printer ink is if you can get hold of one of these from a crafts shop, you can stab your old printer ink cartridges and use that. But you don't need to. You use paints. I'm just using that. I wanted to buy some Ecoline, but I couldn't find them because the sets they do, they're the wrong colours, and I wasn't going to pay for much. I wasn't going to pay for, but Ecoline would be good. But they're about £4 here. But the sets, it was £33 for one set, but it had the right pink in it, the right red. But the other one didn't have the right blue. It didn't have the right blue, and so I didn't want to. I wanted the pale blue. It didn't have the paler blue. It had the darker blues. It had a cobalt. Well, a cobalt's quite good. It is cold, but it's not as cold as Elysian crimson, cyan, and cerulean blue. And if you want a really vibrant purple, then you have to have a really vibrant blue. And so I couldn't find those. But that's only for playing. I only did it because these were £3.50. If my watercolours weren't as expensive, I'd play with those. But so was that everybody okay with that? So I'm just going to, whoops, wrong way. So I'll stop that